Hello everyone, the Flying Scotsman here, and welcome to this video. Now, today we are back with this AST laptop computer, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to install MS-DOS 6.22 and Windows Workgroups 3.11 on it. Now, I have, since the last time this was shown on video, I have actually taken out the original hard drive and imaged it. Well, actually I've just copied its contents over to my computer, and I have put in a 500 meg hard drive. But I thought it would be a good video to show you guys, because I think what we're going to do is, because there's a lot of files that I want on this machine, and there's no CD drive on this machine, we'll get DOS installed and we'll manually copy all the installers onto this hard drive that we need. So let's get going. Now, in order to be able to copy anything to the hard drive, we're going to need to remove it. Now, luckily on this machine, it's actually quite simple. Maybe not Dell Latitude simple, but certainly simple enough. What we have is a couple of screws that need taken out. These are quite long screws, so what I'm just going to do is we'll just need to pull these up and then unscrew them further. I just want to try and keep these nice and safe. Now, at some point I would like to maybe upgrade to a 2 or even a 3 or 4 gig SD card, and then have the installation files on a separate partition or something like that, similar to how I have my Gateway 2000 configured. Right, so next thing we want to do is we just want to I want to put my fingers behind this lip and just pull, and there you go. Have the hard drive here. As I said, replaced it with this 500 odd megabyte, 527 megabyte model from can't remember who it's from. Toshiba? I don't know. Now this, there we go. This drive caddy has been fortified with some sticky back foam squares. So what we need to do now is just pull this ID connection out. Obviously, you want to be quite careful with these, because these ribbon cables quite delicate. That's why I maybe want to upgrade to an SD card solution, so I don't have to be fiddling about with that. So now we have the hard drive liberated. So now we want to focus on connecting the hard drive to the computer. So how do we do that? Well, quite simple really. I have this USB to ID and SATA adapter. You've probably seen these guys on my channel before. I use them in my regular, shall we say, work, volunteering, whatever it is that I do, if I need to fish data from a hard drive. So we have laptop ID on one side, desktop ID on the other, and a SATA port in the middle. What we want to do is we want to plug the laptop side into this hard drive. Now this connector is keyed, as is the drive itself. If the drive itself wasn't keyed, then I guess this connector would be a wee bit useless. There we go. There we go. So now what we want to do, quite simply, we just want to plug this in to an USB port, whoopsie daisy, on the front of the computer. There we go. Oh, it's decided to mount it to a network drive. The last time I did this, it mounted it to drive O. Never mind. What we will do is we'll go into the disk management software and we will remount that drive as the correct as drive O, because that's not actually currently in use on my network. There we go. So the next thing we want to do is actually on the computer. So let's go there now. Okay, so yes, I have VMware up. This is what I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to run a make a VM using the hard disk that we've just connected to the computer as the hard disk. Why would we want to do this? Well, it's so we can install MS-DOS using the original floppies. That way, we don't actually need to install MS-DOS on the laptop, then pull it out and then put it back in. This laptop does have a floppy drive, but if your laptop does not have a floppy drive, you want to install MS-DOS, this could be a way to go. So, right, okay. What we want to do is create a new virtual machine. You can do that from the home page, or you can go File and a New Virtual Machine. Now, we don't want a typical virtual machine. No, this virtual machine is not typical at all. Oh, no, it's not. So, we want a custom virtual machine. VMware 15, that'll be fine. Right, we will install the operating system later. What operating system? Other, MS-DOS. Yeah, do you know what? We'll make 32 megs of RAM. Really doesn't matter. I think the laptop's got 8. No networking. Yes, we want bus logic, IDE. Now, this is where we need to pay attention, because what kind of hard drive do we want? Create a new virtual disk? No. Use an existing virtual disk? No. Use a physical disk for advanced users? Yes. You do not have the administrative privileges to use a physical disk. Now that should let me. So we're going to run it in admin mode. So let's just go back through the previous steps. I will install the operating system later. Use MS-DOS. Yeah, 32 meg, no network, bus logic, IDE. There we go. Now we can use the entire disk. So we could choose to use individual partitions or use the entire disk, which is what we want to do. Now, you want to be careful. Make sure you know which disk you're using, otherwise you will cause untold harm to your computer. Now, for some reason, there are 3 disks in my computer. Don't ask, just don't ask. There's a SSD for my boot drive, data drive, and games drive. See, didn't need to even ask. So, the 4th hard disk, and it's just made a clicking sound as I've selected it, is the one we want. We want to use the entire hard disk, absolutely fine. Now, excellent. We want a floppy disk because it's not giving us one. So now we've created the virtual machine. We want to edit the virtual machine settings, add a floppy disk drive. So, yep, floppy drive. And I will add MS-DOS 6.22, disk 1. Excellent. Now we're going to start up the VM. Excellent. We're in MS-DOS setup. Now, just before we do anything, what I'm going to do, F3, quit setup. We're just going to have a look at the hard disk. Yes, 510 megabytes. Okay, so we've deleted that partition. Now we're going to let DOS recreate it. So from here on out, this is just a regular MS-DOS setup. Now, what I want to do is disconnect the floppy drive from the VM. And there we go. We have a fresh DOS installation. While we're here, a couple of things I do want to do. Don't want to install Windows from within here, because this is still VMware, and Windows does do some rudimentary hardware detection. Very rudimentary, but you know, we'll do that on the laptop. We will copy the Windows files from within this environment, though. What I will do, though, is well, this is a bit messy because I've got a US keyboard. I've just set this to UK. So what I'm going to need to do, whoops. Doing well. Right, okay. Yep. So I'm just going to restart DOS with everything but the keep command. Country, display, files, process auto exec. Smart drive, yes. Echo off, yes. All that. No code page. Or keyboard. So, now to install the supplemental tools, setup C:\DOS. And the laptop has a VGA. Now you want to set this up for what your machine has, not what the VM has. So if I was putting this in a machine with a CGA screen, then I would probably be using the wrong type of hard disk. But I would select CGA, and you get the idea. Right, good, sorted. So we are ready for the next part. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to power off this VM. Excellent. So now we are ready to start copying over some things. First of all, I'd like to copy over the Windows 3.1 install. The Windows 3.1 installer, Windows for Workgroups. So I will do that from here. For some reason I have it all divided up into disks. So that's Windows. Let's put some installers here. Definitely want TCP/IP. And some good old DOS programs. So, here is the contents of the original hard drive. So we've got backup, we've got card soft stuff. I did have to copy that to a floppy disk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy some of these folders across. Because there's quite a lot of useful things to have on here, actually, I must admit. Including an old version of Netscape if you want it. So I will let this all copy and we'll go back to the computer. So just before we go back to the laptop, I just want to run something, run through something. Before we disconnect this hard disk from the computer, I think it's a good idea to eject it. So in this case, we want to eject the USB to ATA or a TAPI bridge. There we go. Now safe to remove the hardware. So we could just go on and disconnect that. I do apologise for the flickering. Excellent. So let's install some stuff. Do you know what? Let's not install that just yet because you know what? We'll install a mouse driver. So I'll set up automatic mode. And we have a mouse tutorial. I guess we could go through that. So this is a simple mouse tutorial that works in text mode, and it does indeed support the middle button. Would you look at that? So this lesson shows you how to point and click, a basic mouse skill. Move your mouse or mouse ball. See how the square mouse cursor moves on screen as you move the mouse or roll the ball. This is called pointing. Now press and release each mouse button. Notice how each click lights up one of the mouse button boxes above. This is called clicking. To go to the next lesson, point to the next command box below and click one of the mouse buttons. Double click here. This lesson shows you how to double click. Double clicking is another way to select a screen item or to perform a command. To double click, click a mouse button twice in quick succession. This lesson shows you how to drag the mouse cursor. You can drag in many applications to move a screen item, select text or change the size of an object. To drag, press and hold a mouse button as you move the mouse. Release the mouse button when you have finished dragging. Now point to the rectangle and drag it across the screen. Let's do that. And obviously this is passive matrix screen, so you can see it trailing away. This lesson shows how the sensitivity changes the mouse cursor speed. Sensitivity moves your mouse cursor in small or large steps on screen as you move your mouse or roll the ball. Move your mouse after you click on each of the command boxes below. See how the mouse cursor moves further when setting it on S10 maximum and not as far when the setting is on S00 minimum. You can come back at any time to an mTutor to change this parameter. So at the moment it's set on S05. If I put it to S00, it is very painfully slow. Conversely, if I put it to S10, it's way too unbearably fast. So S05 is good enough for me. This lesson shows you how the ballistic setting changes the cursor acceleration when you move it. A low ballistic setting makes the cursor travel in small steps when you move your mouse slowly. A high ballistic setting makes your cursor travel further when you move your mouse quickly. To see how this works, click on each command box and move your mouse. So if I select off, it just seems to move the mouse. Yeah. Low. High. Yeah. There's some difference, but not much. In this lesson, you learn about drag locking a mouse button. Use drag lock to drop a screen item or select text without having to press and hold a mouse button as you move your mouse. To drag lock, you must first lock a mouse button. On the example, lock the left button. To do so, click the middle button on the rectangle, then move your mouse and watch a rectangle following the mouse cursor. To unlock the left button, click left or middle button. The mouse driver program for DOS provides several mouse cursor visibility enhancements for users who have computers with LCD displays. I mean like this one. These enhancements make it easier for you to keep track of the mouse cursor while you work. The lessons that follow describe how these parameters work. To use a cursor enhancement, you must load the mouse driver with the CEnhance parameter. Cursor enhancements do not work with some DOS applications that provide their own mouse cursor. Do you know what? I've not found ones that do. So I could unlock the cursor shape or lock it. You can speed up, slow down, or turn off the blinking rate of the mouse cursor so that you can view it more easily on computers with LCD displays. In applications that have both a text and a mouse cursor, the blinking rate affects only the mouse cursor. Click on the command boxes to change the blinking rate of the mouse cursor. Observe the mouse cursor as you do this. Cursor tail. You can turn on a tail to trail the mouse cursor so you can view it easier on when you move your mouse pointer quickly on a computer with LCD display. This feature is particularly useful when your display has a slow response time. Click on the command boxes to turn on or turn off the cursor trail. Observe the mouse cursor as you move your mouse. This is like cursor trails in Windows. So I have enabled this, but it has made absolutely no difference in certain programs. Good. So we can install Microsoft Works for DOS. UK. I see 2 shades of blue and 2 shades of red. Yeah, let's pretend like we have a printer so we can get some fonts. Bad dog. Oh, James, sorry, I was doing something. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Right, okay. So I've installed Microsoft Word and Microsoft Works. Look, I can show you. Would you look at that? That mouse pointer looks a bit strange, but hey, never mind. Excellent. So I also have Microsoft Word on here. Also has the funny mouse pointer. It also blinks. Can turn all that off if I wanted. So, enough messing about in DOS. Let's install Windows. So, I want to do a custom setup and set up Windows for use with a British keyboard layout. And it recognises the mouse as a Logitech, probably because I've installed the Logitech driver in MS-DOS. I do have a Windows driver to install, usual Logitech Cyberman driver. Can fit like at this point. So now it's going to try and find a network card, and there's not one there. I like this. I think it must disarm the trackball if I connect a regular mouse. Alright, so this is going to go ahead and install Windows. Now, we pretended we had a printer in those DOS applications, but we're not going to need to for Windows, so we will just click on Continue. And we're not going to set the network up just yet. Let Windows make changes to auto-exec and config. Microsoft Works 2. Learning Microsoft Works, even though that's version 3, but never mind. Learning Word. Let's all right, let's add some of these. Add Learning Works, Learning Microsoft Word 5.5 and Learning Microsoft Works. Okay. Now, I do believe we have a card reader driver, a PC card slot driver. So let's get that installed now. First time install. Now this version of CardSoft is AST specific, so it's saying select your computer type from the following list, press the up arrow or down arrow to make your selection, and then press enter to continue. So Victor's on this list, that's quite interesting. So this is an Ascentia 810N. What I'm going to do is a custom install. Right. I don't want the ATA card driver. Don't want the ATA card formatting utility. I've forgotten the CD-ROM driver as well. I'm not doing well at this, am I? Static ROM card driver. No. So, just some services and utilities. Do you wish to automatically create or modify your config.sys file? Yes, I will do so. Press enter to proceed. So I've done that. Card services allocation utility csalloc.exe is preparing the csalloc.ne file. Remove any PC cards present in the system. And what I will do is I will run setup for Windows. And there we go. PC card drivers installed, and we're also in Windows for the first time. Now, a couple of other things I do need to install. Firstly, let's see if we can get a display driver going. So to do that, we just need to go to Main, Windows Setup. Options, change system settings. And then go to display, and then other requires disk. With C drivers when video, and I want to select 640 by 480 256 colors. Drivers when video. Excellent. There we go. Now we are in 256 color mode. Not that you would be able to tell. I think you should be able to tell if we go into paintbrush though. Yep, there you go. Now, one thing I do want to do is I'd like to change the color scheme slightly. There we go. Nice. And also we need the Windows portion of the mouse driver. Let's get that installed now. Excellent. Now, with the Windows mouse driver, what I can do is I can go to the control panel, and you'll see that the mouse control panel has been replaced with a mouse control panel. Bear with me. So we now have a cursors option. So I want to make it large, invert it, and there we go. Might actually be able to see it. Unfortunately, Certain higher color display drivers do not allow the use of cursor trails on Windows 3.1, and surprise, surprise, this video driver is indeed one of them. Thanks, guys. Okay, now let's see if we can install some networking. Excellent! Microsoft TCP IP 32-bit. We'll make that the default protocol, otherwise it just won't work. Enable automatic DHCP configuration, that should work. And then now it's going to be chasing me for files. Let's try. I can barely see the mouse pointer. This has got to be one of the messiest installs in the world. NDIS. Let's try. Where is that file then? Well, some files obviously didn't copy to the hard disk. Luckily though, I did have these guys to hand. So, now it is time for the moment of truth. Is this network actually going to go? Well, it's detected the PC card. That's it. Oh. Okay, that worked. That was a bit scary. Now, this is actually going to work. Well, it's got a light on it. You might not be able to see it on video, but there it is. It's very quite clearly a lime green light. Well, that's a good sign. It's not spat error messages at me. And there we go. So let's map some stuff over. There we go. Now obviously I will want to create different modes for this machine, so that if I don't want to be on the network, I don't have to be. But just for the moment, what I will do is I want to go into retro, and well, I'll tell you the first thing I want to do. I want to re-enable that bloody mouse pointer. I can barely see what I'm doing. Jane like. There we go. There we go. And let's get Microsoft Office installed on here. For Windows, no less. Because why not? But I'm not going to install Bookshelf. And it's also complaining that I don't have multimedia. Well, at least a Wave and MIDI device. You don't have those things. I don't know what to do now. In fact, I'm feeling a wee bit uncomfortable. Oh, shut up. Well, let's actually get some real stuff installed on here. Well, this is going to take its time. So what I'm going to do is going to go to complete our custom, and then I'm going to scroll down to Microsoft Bookshelf, James, this requires like 110 megabytes. So I will let that install and I will be right back. So there we go, the AST Ascentia 810N with a brand new install of Microsoft Windows. So with that all said and done, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've all enjoyed watching it, and please join me for my next video. Cheery bye.